He said one of the prolific. I'm not prolific at all. Sorry, because because in my fairly long career of almost 60 years, I have made very few films. Most of the time, I have been not making films. So, for that reason, I have no retirement either. Because I have taken my retirement between films. So, I go on. So, even today, somebody asked me, why don't you make a film? I said, yes, I am going to make a film, yes. It's on the anvil. It will soon be out. So, I don't know how many of you have seen my films, but these days with the technology available and you can, those who wish to see films, because all my films are on the internet. This has never happened before. This is the first time all over the world. Films can be seen. The films that we have made, they need not necessarily be put on a particular platform. My films have all been, they are all put on the internet in a clandestine way. In an indirect way, I promote it, because if I start a platform and then start charging them, they won't watch the films. So, my audience is all over the world. They are subtitled and put on. Because I recently realized that my films have been seen by lakhs of people, which I couldn't imagine. By theater release, I could gain it. So the new technology, because I'm not particularly interested in making money. What is important is that the people see it. For an artist, it is very important to be seen, to be understood. So you don't have to travel all the way to Kerala to see my films. So it comes to you, within your accessible places. There are very few people like me who make a film once in a long while, because Girish is one example. But then I used to tell him, Girish, you are making too many films. Because as a very good friend, I used to tell him, you should allow time in between. Because I think he did not particularly listen to me. But then what happens is, it is very difficult to find a producer. It is very difficult to find its release, to spend money again on it, not only on the production. These days, to advertise a film, you need as much amount of money as your production money. So that is the situation. If you don't advertise, you don't sell any product. So you are constantly being bought over by advertisements. So anything that you want to buy, you are guided by the advertisement. That is the norm today. So people who make films on very austerely making films without all the stardust and all that, it's very difficult for them to reach the audiences. Earlier, we used to complain that our films are being made in a particular regional language, and so the others don't understand, they cannot access it, etc. That has changed. With subtitles, your films can reach anywhere. The French audience will see a film with French subtitles. You can just, with a switch of button, you can change your language of subtitle. So it has become suddenly accessible. Girish, I was talking about you, about my complaint against you, not now, long back, that you are making too many films. Yes. Yeah, because and once at a meeting here, I criticized the film industry in Karnataka, and they wanted to punish me for that. You know what did I say? I said, it's a shame on the industry in Karnataka that Girish films are not released in the cinemas. It's a shame. This is what I said. And then all the leaders of the film industry here, they wanted to punish me for that. I don't know what they wanted to do. Manhandle me or... Fortunately, I escaped any onslaught on my body. Yes. So these days you cannot speak out the truth, even about your own profession. It's very dangerous because there are opinion makers everywhere. They can ban your film, other than censoring. And I'm personally against any kind of censoring because often I have confronted this, by this question when I travel and show my films abroad. They ask you, in the beginning, you have the censor certificate. They ask me very innocently, so is there a military role in India? I said, no, ours is a democratic country. Oh, yes, but you are censoring. You don't allow freedom of expression, not even in your work of art. This is tyranny. Why do you allow this? So I was a member of this committee formed under our great Kannada writer, Dr. Shivaram Karant, Mrinal Sen, Shyam Benigal, myself, and some of the industry's leaders were there in the group. So we conferred between ourselves, the three of us, that we should recommend, because we were making recommendations for the improvement of things in the film industry. So we decided that we will have a resolution passed that we should do away with this censorship because it's very, very oppressive to even think that you are going to be censored. So we all agreed, and we were at the deliberation time, final deliberations, and suddenly the representatives of the film industry they were stalwarts of the industry. They said, please don't do that resolution because we have safety behind a censor certificate. Because without a censor certificate, we can be taken to courts. Our enemies can really, stop you from releasing the film for various reasons. And we have no protection. Now we use the censor certificate as a kind of protection. Then we talked between ourselves and we said, they are right. They are right. This certificate is a protection. But it's a device of oppression. It's a very strange situation. So three of us said, all right, we agree. If it is going to harm the industry, we are not for that. We want the industry to flourish. We want the industry to make better films. That's our idea. Because the young and trained students, the Film Institute, we have two institutes now in Calcutta and in Pune. There are, the institute has trained hundreds of technicians and filmmakers. And they have really, in terms of, at least in terms of technology, in terms of technical side, the institute has made a real big change in the film industry. Not so many filmmakers have emerged as influential as we would have imagined. That is because of the situation that prevailed. Because for various reasons, it did not work. But India could have been on top because we have been producing maybe the largest number of films anywhere. But even today, we have a problem of a plethora of films. And They don't know what to do with that. Even for the national awards, in each language, last year, 240 films are made in Kerala alone. We have, in Kerala, we have practice of giving national and state awards for the films. It is impossible for anybody to see all these 240 films. So willy-nilly, they have formed 2-3 committees. They screen out films one after the other, and then what happens in the process is, if there is an offbeat film, a film which speaks a different language, these committees will not even understand or appreciate that work. Instead, they will go after what is commonplace. There is a great danger in doing that. So, because the main committee sees, the final committee is maybe composed of experts. They get to see only what has been chosen before them and sent to them. So, it's very difficult. There are too many films to choose from. So, these are the problems. I've been doing a monologue so far. So, I will stop now. I will listen to your questions.
I am Professor Kusuma Kumari, former Vice Chancellor, and very happy to see you, sir. And this is a wonderful program for us. We didn't imagine that we will get an opportunity to sit in front of you, see you, and listen to you. And we thank and congratulate Book Brahma for this wonderful arrangement of program with small gathering. No, I have only one question now. See, LGBT issue is becoming a world issue now. Did you direct or did you choose any theme on this issue? This is one question. And then...
I'll first answer this.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
No, I have not done anything.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. No, a second.
Any idea to...
No. Shall I have one more question?
Not yet. Because I basically make my films about subject I'm really bothered about, because the LGBT thing has come up very new. I've not studied it yet, because it may come up in future, I don't know. I'm not ruling out the possibility, but then that is one category where films should be made on, and because they have to be treated like everybody else. They are not special creatures, they are us only. This problem is there in many families. They just cover it up and then they don't even know. There have been instances I know about a son being compelled to marry. Even when he says, I don't want to marry, the parents won't leave him. They'll do a marriage, and with all the filthy expenses, the marriage is conducted and the girl suffers. She cannot speak out, not even to her parents. These terrible situations arise because there is no proper understanding of things. There is no proper dialogue going on. This happens because it's not a subject. It will be very sensational if I try to do that. It will be very sensational. I'm not after any sensational thing. My style of work is very different.
No, it is not sensational. It is a fact.
It's a need of the hour. What we feel is need of the hour, because your films are watched all over the world.
Yes.
Adoor Gopalakrishnan is not a person belonging to India. He belongs to the world. So that's why you should choose that team. Sir,
I'm not
because you spoke well about the issue, because there is no proper understanding. Parents have no guidance regarding this, no psychological advice.
No.
So this is leading to conflicts in families.
Yes.
So try to understand the issue and try to, at least in future, bring out a film on this theme, sir. This is our request to you. Thank you.
When a subject bothers me for a long time, then only I take it up. If somebody suggests something, immediately I don't go and make a film. I cannot. So it may have to sink down before I take it up for this work, because I allow a certain organic growth within me. I have to look at the potential of the subject, whether it will make a worthwhile film. It's very important. Worthwhile work, that's very important. That period of examination is very long for me. I have not made a film for the last 9 years. Yes. So I am a very slow person.
Hello, sir. എൻ്റെ പേര് മീനാക്ഷി. Sir, I want to ask, ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ ഫൈനൽ ഇയർ ആ കോളേജ്. So we are encouraged to watch your movies to understand script writing, screenplay and all that. So I want to ask, what is your approach or towards starting to write a film, and what would you say for the young generation who also dream to be in your position?
Yeah, it's a your question is very good.
Thank you.
Because it comes from a young person and also a young girl. Because the most important thing to know is that cinema is a language, like literature. So I keep saying, telling my young friends that you have to learn the language. That's very important. How do you learn a language? You read. If you don't read, then you cannot write. This is not understood. People think that they are born as geniuses and they don't have to do anything, any such exercise. If I had not read well, if I had not been aware of what is happening around me, how did I become a filmmaker? So that comes second. The equipment, how do you equip yourself to make a film? So you have to really learn the language of cinema. So then somebody may ask, Satyajit Ray never went to any film institute to learn. But they do not, they are not aware of the fact that he has been a film fan for a long time, a very serious film fan. In Calcutta, Ray and Chidananda are together with other friends, set up the first film society in 1942. And they were watching films from all over the world, wherever they were, whenever they were available. They were even talking to some of the filmmakers who came to make films. In fact, Ray had, his mother was very particular that he should study in Shantiniketan. In those days, that was the final, destination for all the young and aspiring persons. So she was very particular that he should go and study under those masters in Shantiniketan. And he was joined there. And after 3 years, he felt he was missing films because he was not able to see films that was available in Calcutta only. So after 3 years, he thought it is a 5-year course that he was undergoing. There were great masters like Nandalal Bose and others there. And he told himself that, okay, 3 years is enough. I have learned enough about painting. Then he went back to Calcutta and then he started seeing films. So it took years for him. And I'm told that he used to see films and come home and then write a script about it. How it can be improved. How well it film has been made. He has been doing this exercise for a long time. And then when we went back to Calcutta, he was doing these illustrations, basically book covers and all that he was doing. So when the company sent him to London for higher training in the work, what he did was he saw 90 films in London. 90 films in London. And the one film which really I was very happy with was Bicycle Thieves. But then by that time, even before that, he was interested in making a film because somebody had suggested that you should this Vibhuti Bhushan's novel by name. This was written in the 1920s, 1910s. Actually. This will make a good film. Somebody just actually remarked. I think it was the publisher or someone. So this was in his mind. And he's in the ship in which he was traveling, he was doing sketches, not writing a script, because he was an artist. So he was doing sketches of every scene, every character, every situation. In fact, he did not write a script. All his idea about the film was sketches. Then he made the film. Very interestingly, none of those members who were technicians who worked with him had any previous training. They were all self-taught. So it was a remarkable kind of venture. And he succeeded. That is the first real cinema made in this country. If you ask me which is the first film made in India, we would say Father Panjari, and nothing else. So you have to dedicate yourself to the cause. Ray had faculties in several other areas as well. He was a writer, he was a composer, he was a painter, he was an illustrator, so many things. And he was writing children's books especially, and he was publishing a magazine called Sandesh, all that. He was working probably 18 hours a day, that kind of a person. And he has made too many films, something like 30 feature films or so, and so many short films. So it was a full life of a filmmaker. Although all these, what happened was, all his faculties were brought into the making of the films. You see it in the film. They are the great masterpieces forever. This is what happened. So you have to have, if you want to watch films, again, you have to also watch films. And you have to be aware of what is happening around. Start with the family and then go around. You have to know. You have to have clear observation of things. In fact, Ray's films became famous and important because he always had an eye for details. That one really worked. So, a lot of us, we think, commercial cinema, you see only all your ideas are conveyed through dialogue. The first reel itself, now we cannot talk about the reel. The first 10 minutes, they'll be talking about each character. He's a very nice person. Oh, other fellow, he's a rascal. All that is given in the beginning itself. The idea. It is like children's stories. Children always ask when you start telling a story, Nallavana, Kattavana? This question. This is the way they are making films even today. The commercial film is not letting you think. Bernarda used to say, the audience does not want to think. That is the commercial cinema's principle. Basis is that. The audience does not want to think. If you want to make them think, you fail. You fail. And they don't think. This is the problem.
Hello, sir. Namaskaram. I'm Anand. See, the first memory of me listening to you, one of your stories, is while I was traveling in my car with my father. It's while when I was traveling in my car with my father when I was a child, I listened to a radio drama that you wrote. So it was, the story just kept in my mind. It was like a cinema in my mind, the story. So as a writer, I used to sit and start to write a screenplay. When I do this, a lot of new thoughts come into my mind. So I just get deviated from what I'm writing currently. The screenplay should be bound with something, right? A thought should be there throughout there.
What do you do now?
I'm a teacher now. I'm a professor at. I'm working as a research scholar at BAT. Yeah, so I'm a literature student basically.
Literature student.
Yeah. So I just want to know whether how can we focus on that particular topic that we are focusing on while we are writing a screenplay? How to limit ourselves in that thought, throughout that process?
Yeah, actually, if you are planning to make a film, your screenplay is your memory notes. Your screenplay is not written by somebody else who imagines how the film should be. No, you have to write your screenplay. You have to imagine how each scene is going to be worked. The process of writing a screenplay and making a film will depend on how much you are exposed to better kind of cinema. So your guide should not be the rubbish that is being widely shown. So that is one thing. So once you have to study, with great attention, you have to study the great works of cinema, whether produced in India or abroad. That is the only way you can decide on how a story has to be told. Because interestingly, there is a discussion here now coming later in the evening about the word and the image. So Girish and myself, we are going to sit and talk about it. So we will do that in that session.
I hope it was a good conversation with sir. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.